Welcome to Indie Resources 37th video, I believe, on how to make a browser MMO. This is Halls of Valhalla. Last video we left off with some crons, doing the crons. Really, I'm going to come back to that later when we're ready to use it. I'm not really going to get into a whole lot now with it as far as using it for this game, but at least you guys have that script because it was asked for a lot. And the other two things I hear a lot of people ask for is PvP, which will be coming up after we do these set of videos, and the one we're going to do now is an admin back panel, mainly because it's so easy to do. And we need it to kind of add in some things in the stores and things like that. So we're going to do that real quick. The first thing we want to do is let's go ahead and go to our database and let's go to our players, and we need to put a field in there for the actual access. You know, what kind of person is it? Is it a admin? Is it a regular player? So let's go to our structure and let's add a new field, and we'll call it access. And I'm going to make it a tiny integer with just one value, and the default as defined is going to be 1, and we're going to save that. I'm going to go, actually I'm going to leave that there. So just for my purposes in my game that I'm building here, I'm going to have 1 as just a regular old player, 2 is a GM or a moderator, and 3 will be an admin. So I'm going to have 3 accesses. You can have as many as you want. You just have to have a reason for each one of them, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But let's go. So really we need to create a new page that's going to show admin, basically an admin panel. So I'm going to do a lot of copy and paste in here, but I'm going to create a new PHP page. And I'm going to delete all this. I'm going to go to my index and I'm going to kind of copy a couple things here real quick. I tell you what, I just want to copy down to the player, yeah, just to the player section to where it ends on the player info. That's all I really need for right now. I'm going to paste that and I'm going to go ahead and save this as admin.php. Okay, so it's going to connect. It's going to have a session start. We're going to include our logo because we need to at least look good. Which, by the way, that some more CSS work is going to come up in a couple videos coming up. So here's where we check for the player. So the first thing we want to do is if player info 3 access is less than 2, then we want to say echo you do not have the access to reach this page, or something goofy, whatever you want to put, I don't care. And we're going to exit the code, that way we know they can't go any further. And actually we may want to, let me look what I got for divs. Let's see. Nothing really that I want to slide over there because here's our bypass. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that, and we can just take a look at it real quick. And there's going to be an easier way to do this instead of having to URL browse, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so that's what we need to do. We need to actually end that div. So let's see what we got. There's our log, and what do we have our div? It's kind of taking a look where we're at. What we have that include logo. I tell you what, all we really got to do is drop this down, and that'll be fine. So now let's give all halls here access number 3 as an admin, and now we have access, and of course we don't have anything there. Now of course you don't want your admins to have to come in here and put in the PHP or the admin.php every time. So let's open up our index, and actually we're probably gonna have to open up let's see, our stat panel. I'm going to put it in stat panel, so let's go ahead and open our stat panel up, and I'm going to put it right at the very bottom. I'm just going to put it right here. If we're going to have to add some PHP. If, and I'm going to go ahead and sneak over here and steal this code. But I want the access is greater than 1. Then I want to echo admin. Oh, actually we need to make a link. So let's go ahead and let's take and just make this real easy on us. And we're going to put this as admin.php, and of course we're not going to have any throw any get variables, and we're just going to put in admin panel. So if we jump over to our index, you'll now see, actually you won't see it, did I not save it? Access is greater than 1. Well, did I miss it? Oh, that's why. It must have fell outside of a div somewhere. Must be the way excuse me, I don't remember exactly how we made our style sheet. Left panel. Oh, that's what we did. Okay. So all we got to do is come down here and drop this. We're probably going to come through and change this stuff. I really don't like admin link. I really don't like the way the CSS is done here with this absolute. I want to eventually center everything, so we are going to change this just a hair in an upcoming video. But let's go back to our stat panel, and now let's create us a nice little div tag here. And let's see where that puts us. Not near as far. Oh, I put it right underneath the spell points. We probably got to drop that down quite a bit in our style sheet. And this is not really a way I would normally want to do this. That's why I'm saying we're going to eventually change this. Wow, I guess that's pretty good. So there's our admin panel. And when we click on it, we go to our admin panel. So, and just to prove that it works, let's go back to being a regular player. Let's refresh, and it's gone. So they won't even have access to it. So let's change it back. Refresh, and we're back, and let's go to our admin panel. Now inside of our admin panel, and we are going to make this prettier later on. For now, before the style sheet videos that we're going to do, I'm just gonna throw some things in there for now, and I'm just gonna echo admin panel. And I tell you what, let's do this. Let's center it. Let's make it bold, and let's underline it. So we gotta kill our underline, kill our bold, and kill our center. And whoops, one too many. There we go. And I want to drop that a couple more. Doing a lot of HTML instead of doing the CSS, which is fine for now because we're going to come back and change this later. So what are the things we want to be able to do in our admin panel? First off, we want to be able to go back to the regular page without having to do anything here. I'm kind of thinking that we want to use this space over here for our links. It's kind of like what we have in our index, and so that way when we change them, they'll only have to be changed once. And I'll kind of show you what I mean. Like this area over here is a good place to start. So let's look in our style sheet. Actually, let's go to index or our stat panel and see what divs we're using for that. We're using just the left panel, so that's really all I need to use to start it. So let's go back to our admin, and I'm going to go ahead and drop it right here. Yeah, that looks good to me. So I'm going to echo gotta change these around. And then let's see what that does. First, before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and steal back over here real quick. Steal this link. Switch back over. Drop it. Index. And we're going to call it back to. We'll just call it back to game for now. Okay, let's see what that looks like. We're going to refresh. We're going to admin panel. And maybe I want to kick that up. I got too many spaces in there right now. I'll go ahead and kick that up just to make it look a little prettier. And let's see. There we go. So here's where we're going to start all of our menu blocks. So the first thing that we want to be able to do, let's look at our shop, our weapon shop. Okay, I want to be able to add new weapons in here. Without having to actually go into the database, and if we go in and actually add the weapons. So if we go into our weapons, you'll see we have our list of weapons. So these are the things that we need to actually add. So let's create a link, and I'm going to make that go back at the bottom. So we're going to echo. I guess I could have copied this real quick. We're going to keep it at admin, but we're going to throw a get link, and we're going to call it add weapon equals 1, and we're going to do add a new weapon. Let's take a look. Our panel's not that big. We could stretch our panel out, but it's going to affect the whole game, so I'm just going to do add weapon instead to make it simpler. And like I said, I will come back and fix these ugly looking HTML things into a little better CSS. There we go. So now when we go to add weapon, nothing's going to change, but you see up here it's adding. So this is where we want to come in, and we want to do the old bypass thing, which for now we don't need it because the center is blank, but once that's created, we want to end our div to get out of that left panel, and then we want to go if let's do it is set. Yeah, let's do that. Get what we call it, add weapon. Okay, so we got the is set get add weapon, and then we just want to start putting in our text, but for now I'm just going to echo test, not testy, and just to know that it works. I'm going to kind of come back. Okay, we got blank, add a weapon. That's the only thing we got to do is drop it down and we're good to go. So let's cheat again here real quick. Let's open up our store.php. It is by weapon, and the other thing I want to open up is our register, and I'm going to grab this form out of here. I'm going to do some major cheating. Copy. And then we're going to go to our admin, and we're going to have to change some things though. A lot of things. Because first off, we're going to have to be stuck in this PHP, so we're going to echo, but we're going to turn this all into one large form, and all I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to do a find, and I'm going to do a replace. I'm going to replace all of these quotes with single quotes, change it to text, and replace all. And I got to change that to this. That made it a ton easier for me. What do we got? Oh, I left one out. Okay.